Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing the Patek Philippe Nautilus Moon Phase, reference 5712R-001. This is a 40mm rose gold sports watch that is 8.8 millimeters thick and 4.3 millimeters from lug to lug, but if we add these solid end links, the total distance across the wrist, and this is how I like to measure it, is 50.1 millimeters. Let's throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and you can see that it wears well. It wears flat, it wears flush. This could easily be worn underneath a dress cuff with formal attire. It's narrow across the wrist, and you can see the proportion is excellent. I consider this to be a watch for him or for her because of its size. It's sporty enough to be your sports watch, formal enough to be your dress watch, and flat enough that it's never going to argue with the cuff. Taking a quick look at the strap, Patek has two options for this watch. You have a rubber strap and a leather strap, and Patek has decreed that they should look identical. They have the same taper, they have the same cross-sectional thickness. Here we have the rubber strap, which is the one you'll want if you really want to use the watch for sporting applications. You tend to sweat or you live in a hot climate where you're generally going to perspire more. You can see that it also has the same color as the leather on the standard strap, and it has a contrasting binding stitch as though it were made of layers of leather, which of course it's not, but this preserves the illusion of elegance. You also have the same color on the underside that you would get on the calfskin of the leather strap. Now, whereas the standard 5711 on a bracelet uses a rather cheap clamshell lock, here we have a double folding rose gold clasp that uses a twin trigger deployment. I actually prefer this to what you get on a standard full bracelet Nautilus. This is a handsome looking thing that inspires confidence, is well made, and is suitably opulent for a watch at this price point. Now, taking a look at the case, there are creases, curves, elements that are polished as well as satinated, and some of the elements are quite fine, such as the bevel along the shoulder of the lug hoods. These are hand-finished watches, inside and out, and the hand finishing and complexity of the Nautilus case is one of the reasons it costs more than the Aquanaut. It's not just a matter of the junior and senior sports watches being priced accordingly. This is a more complex case to build and finish than what you get on an Aquanaut. I've always thought that since the first Nautilus in 1976, the Nautilus has been a somewhat more fully realized concept than Gerald Genta's other famous design of the 70s, the Royal Oak. Now, of course, he designed more watches, but we always compare the Royal Oak and the Nautilus from that era. And whereas the Royal Oak has this rounded polygon of a bezel outboard, the Royal Oak has a round inner bezel, a round dial, and a round sapphire, whereas on the Nautilus, the outer bezel, the inner bezel, the sapphire, and the dial all have the same profile and shape. The dial is a sort of mild fume fade. It's sort of silver gray at the center and black at the edge. It does fade a little bit as you get to the edge. The hands as well as the indices are rose gold to resist tarnishing or oxidation over time. And we have the longitudinal striation that has been a feature of every Nautilus, or just about every conventional Nautilus since the beginning. We have a power reserve indicator with 4 dots here. And of course, there's a 48-hour automatic winding power reserve. We have small seconds. We have coaxial moon phase display with a radial date. And of course, this being a sports watch, it is well loomed. The timepiece does feature a screw-down crown. It's 60 meters water resistant, so if you do get it on this rubber strap, as you see here, with the screw-down crown, this is a surface swimmable watch, and I do recommend you get it on the rubber strap, as over time, again, if you're in a hot climate, if you sweat a lot, it's going to save you thousands of dollars on replacement strap costs. This strap will go the distance. An animal hide strap, generally not. Now, if you look at the case, you can see that it's a handsome and thin profile, and protected down to 60 meters, we have caliber 240, an automatic micro-rotor movement that Patek's been making since 1977. You can see that the micro-rotor allows the movement to be as thin as a manual wind, but as convenient as an automatic, and because there's no winding bridge or rotor blocking the movement, you can see it all visually. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. It's adjusted in 6 positions. It's free-sprung for durability and precise adjustment, and has an anti-magnetic silicon Spiromax hairspring. All those features together, along with the Patek Philippe seal, means Patek guarantees this watch to run no worse than -3 + 2 seconds per day from the factory, which is mighty impressive, as few high horology brands actually want to talk about accuracy. And of course, it has the power reserve as well as the moon phase and the calendar on the dial side. It is 6 position adjusted, which is exceptional since most chronometers are only adjusted in 5 positions. Reach out to tmosso@thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.